Going dark.
Yep. Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. And tonight's going to be a little bit more different, as instead of Bastards Breakdowns, it's going to be Gobby Bastards, where we talk about the Tom Cruise Reacher movies. And since the third series of Reacher is currently still going on Amazon Prime, I think it would have been a good idea to actually do think it's a good idea to take a look back at the Tom Cruise Reacher movies back when people were complaining, why the fuck is this short little bastard playing a big belly bastard who was a unstoppable killer machine in the books? Well, does that mean the movies were terrible in comparison to the new series? We will discuss that right now. Well, we will get more into that. What we like and what we don't like. So yeah, without further ado, we will jump into. Oh yeah, before I do, I will establish. I will just go around from top to bottom. The first movie, the plot, what we liked, what we didn't like, overall views, and then we'll go on to the second movie, and the same thing goes from there. So yeah, without further ado, we will jump straight into Jack Reacher 1 from 2012, and this is where we see Jack Reacher is hired by a apparent assassin who calls for Jack Reacher's help in a bid to prove his innocence. And not only that, this guy who's willing to prove his innocence is also an old fucking enemy. So yeah, a big twist coming. But is the assassin guilty or not? And what did I like about this movie? Well, there are still some good moments. I mean, even Tom Cruise is very miscast. He still sells the analytic sort of veteran guy, like he definitely comes across as a guy who knows what he's doing. Like, he has been there, he knows how to analyze a crime scene, come to conclusions, deduct. I mean, that fucking scene where he's in the car park and he's like, you know what, I don't think Barr would have used this position to do the sniping. I mean, he's got the sun coming onto him, everything. I really like those little details. I really think that is very good. And Rosamund Pike's all right in the role. I mean, you got Robert Duvall on there as well, and Werner Herzog is fucking sinister as hell. I mean, that little monologue where he talks about chewing his fingers off in a Siberian prison, and one of his lackeys who messed up the job is like, okay, I can prove my loyalty by cutting my fingers off. Have you got a knife? And he's like, did I use a knife? And that is pretty demented, and I liked it. And I also liked it's like Jai Courtney in it. I mean, I'm actually, and this is the guy who I really didn't like because he was such a bad fucking car race in Terminator Genesis, and he was very fucking wooden in Die Hard 5. But yeah, he's actually a really good menacing fucking henchman. He's got a little bit of a charm to him. That scene where he goes up to that lady who almost got Jack Reacher fucked up by Jeb and the guys. He actually comes off very charming. And it was very creepy the way he sort of like fooled her into thinking that they might have slept with each other once, but before getting her killed. And the action's very good. I mean, when the action happens, when he's in a fist fight, I mean, there's no music playing. You just hear every bone crunching. Tom Cruise handles himself well, despite the fact he's a bit of a short ass. And I do like the mystery. The mystery is very intriguing, and I like the little how it highlights, how some of these veterans just really need to be out there killing, and they've got that itch that they can't scratch. And that's the moments I did like about this movie. So yeah, and box office brawler. What was your positives on the very first Jack Reacher movie?
So, like we talked about behind the scenes, like for me, I don't know what it is about Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise. I have a hard time. I have a hard time attaching myself to this character, but we're talking about positives right now. Positives. I'm glad you brought up Werner because he's of course an icon. It was great seeing him in there. I think the fingers, seeing him with those, like his fingers chopped off like that, and the story behind that was interesting. That was exciting and definitely disgusting. I did not see that coming when he offed that poor dude. I think overall, I think both movies and Jack Reacher one, maybe not so much as the second one, in my opinion. I thought the action
Mm,
was pretty good. I'm not really a big sucker for action. I think action's important and exciting, especially the hand to hand combat, especially
mm,
between those two. But I think it was definitely it was interesting. It kept things moving. I loved seeing him take on these guys. 1v5. It was sort of, I mean, I'm not too familiar with Jack Reacher as the character overall. I mean, I hadn't seen these movies in so long. And I just barely got into the series until you told me you wanted to talk about it on the show here. So it was fun kind of figuring out this character, and I think I kind of diagnose him as like a John Wick, but just pretty much like fist to fist combat. He doesn't really use his sidearm very much, and I thought that was kind of fun. I don't know. He was more of a brawler than anything else, and it suits my name, so I'm all about that.
yeah, thanks for. Is there any more you want to point out, or is that it just now?
Well, let's see. I thought that like the central dilemma was pretty interesting of, the sniper taking out all of those civilians. At first glance, it looks like it's not really a calculated incident, but as the story unravels, it turns out like there's a huge picture to this, and there was a lot of layers to that onion that were being unpeeled, or just peeled and unfolded. And I don't know. I just at first glance, I didn't think too much of it, and it was exciting to see that. Wow, this was a cold hearted, like choice, big thing he made with this catastrophe that happened. And I don't know, it was cool. Tom Cruise, he lays it all out so very well sequentially. I think the first one more better so than the second one takes you through unraveling this mystery better than the second one. I think it made more sense, and by the end of the
Mm.
film, you figured it all out, and you know what happened, and a pretty satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, and he ends up being right as well because even James Barr's like, yeah, I would have used I would have stayed in the truck and used the bridge for that, and it is a very good payoff as well, and it is a good twist just to see how someone who tried to put you away is actually going to try and prove your innocence because he knows you better than the authorities. So, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I like that part at the end. Yeah, when
mm,
when he was being questioned what he would do, and it made total sense. And he said it. It was like, okay, that was
yeah,
solid.
yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, toxic. Your positives on this movie.
I think it's a pretty good adaptation. I obviously I'm a huge fan of the series, and we can get into that. But I like this movie. I think it's very well done. I watched it again on your request to do this stream, and I think it holds up pretty good. I obviously am an ex-MP myself. I spent a lot of time in the military. I've spent a lot of time overseas, and I've read these books, pretty much all of them. I looked through the book listing today to see which ones I hadn't read so that I could know which ones I was talking about. And I think I've pretty much read them all, with the exception of like there's a whole short story thing. And this is definitely one of the better books. They were very smart to adapt this one because it's got, as Box Office Brawler indicated, it has probably the best plot in all of the books, or at
Agreed.
least one of the best plots. It's got some of the best twists and stuff, and I like how they've managed to headcanon it into the lore of the show, so that we know it's already happened, so that we're not looking for it, in a lake, because each series is based on a separate book. So this was a good one to adapt. I would have done like they do with the sequel, and I would have kept the name of the book and then made it, like Jack Reacher one shot. I wouldn't have changed to just Jack Reacher. I mean, I get why they did it, and I think Tom Cruise comes off very well in it. There's one huge nitpick I have with the movie, which we can get into later, but beyond that, where they diverge from the book. But beyond that, no, I'm really, really happy with it. I didn't see it when it first came out. I didn't see it for years after it came out because I was still in Iraq when it came out. So I didn't see it till like 2014 or 15. So, and it had already been out for a few years by then.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, and yeah, I do agree. I mean, it is a very solid action film. It does grip you. I mean, I know you kind of got the Tom Cruise being this very short guy and not this big burly bastard who could probably rip your fucking head off with one hand. But uh, how close do you think Tom Cruise actually does portray the character in the books, despite his fucking size difference?
I think he does a better job of what a realistic MP investigator would look like and be like, especially an older retired one. The Jack Reacher we get in the books, and you'll know this because you've just recently started reading them. The
Yeah,
Jack Reacher we get in the books has been drummed out of the military, which doesn't mean kicked out. It just means you haven't advanced to the point where you're supposed to advance, so they just don't renew your contract. So you don't get to retire, but you still get to keep some of your benefits. So basically the same thing that happened to me. And he's kind of been, world weary and running around. So he's age appropriate. Whereas the Richardson character from the TV series, he's a lot younger than what Jack Reacher is shown to be. That's one thing that the second movie gets right, is they show how the toll that this kind of lifestyle is taking on Jack. Because it's described pretty well in the books. There's some books that ignore it, but most of them are pretty good about showing how when he busts his hand, there's a hard cost to it later on or whatever. And to be fair, when I read the books, and I read the books before the movies came out, I kind of laughed at when they described him. I'm like, there's no such thing as a 6'5", 265-pound investigator in the MPs. In the MPs, in the Army in general, they're pretty good about putting you where you would fit in your job. So like a little guy is going to be a tanker because it takes a little guy to fit into a tank, and a big guy might be a paratrooper or something like that. A medium guy, if you have brains, you will go to the MPs, but if you have brains and you're huge, you're going to go be like an MP prison guard or a canine handler. They're not going to make you a special investigator.
yeah. 'Cause I mean, he still does have that little bit of a sociopathic edge to him, a little bit. But I think there is a few times where, and this is where I'm going to get into the negatives. Despite the solid acting, especially from Tom Cruise, I mean, I think this might have been because I saw the show first, and there was a scene where Rosamund Pike's is telling Tom Cruise to put his shirt back on, and he's like holding this wet rag, and he's like, well, "This is my shirt." It's funny, but at the same time, I was thinking, if Richardson was playing this role and he delivered that line, he would make it funnier.
Right.
So I think that, yeah, because somehow Richardson has given this sort of like very stoic sociopath a bit of a personality.
No, they definitely did a great job with Richardson, having somebody that's not only physically, imposing, but also he has, his background is in comedy. So he's able to pull off a lot of that. But again, that's something very specific to the show, though, because as you know, now that you've started reading the books, Reacher's not very funny. He says a couple he says good one-liners. He burns people every now and then, but he's not
he's very dry
funny
in the books, isn't he?
He's very dry, and he's really kind of an asshole, if we're being honest. So
yeah, because I mean, I can really see why Drinker thought he was a bit of a fucking plank, and he's more of a Lee Child self-insert in a way. And yeah, and I'm honestly, I don't even know if I want to read the other books though at the moment, because the show's done a good job of actually sort of like really sort of adding something a bit more to the dialogue. Somehow the actors have given these characters more of a dynamic, which I think the first book in particular is lacking anyway, because that's the only thing I'm on at the moment.
Well, maybe I can change your mind, because there are a few key books that I think are exceptional, and I think that would definitely make you change your mind. So maybe I can help you.
You don't need to read them in order, do you? Apparently, you don't really need to read them in order, even though there's a timeline already. Because I know a few books kind of go back to the past as well, don't they? Some are prequels.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, they do that. I was just weirdly lucky with that. I think I mentioned this on another stream. My mom was in a book club, and when I was visiting home in 2004, she, asked me the silly question your family always asks you: what do you do in the Army? I've been in the Army for 4 years, but okay, I'm an MP. She goes, oh, I got a book about an MP. Do you want it? And, I'm always on the lookout for new books, always have been. So I said yes. And it was The Enemy by Lee Child, which is in chronological order, it is the very first Jack Reacher story. So
how many books about Reacher are there, Toxic?
34,
Wow.
including the short
Yeah.
story stuff. In full novel, 28.
Wow,
If that makes
that's a
sense.
lot of content to use. That's exciting.
That's a lot of content. Yeah, they've got a lot to use if they so choose. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's only a few of them that are already in the first person view, aren't they?
I'd say it's about half. I'd say it's about half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, are they much better when they're not read in the first person view or when they are?
Well, that's a tough question. As both, a YouTuber and a critic and a writer, I prefer to write in the third person because I want you to see I like to write a lot of characters and I want you to see what they're all doing. When you read, I kind of have an ick about like reading someone say, I walked into the room and I saw her standing there with nothing on but the radio. And then I pushed her down in the bed and I gave her the high hard one all night long. That tends to get a little old. And plus you're limited. When you do first person, you can only show what the main character sees. So, but that's a double-edged sword because what's cool about it is you keep the reader invested because then the reader only sees what the main character sees. So if you're writing a mystery per se, it gives you the reader kind of feels like they're in the midst of the mystery themselves. So and that's kind of cool. So it kind of just, I guess it depends on the story you're writing, really.
Yeah. I think there was another few negatives as well. Like I didn't really care about Rosamund Pike's daddy issues a little bit. I think that was the kind of thing that I could sort of lose a little bit.
That was rough.
Yeah, women are on right. Women with daddy issues are only good when you're getting laid by them, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, facts.
Yeah. But that is mostly just my negatives, and that's it, really.
Wow.
That's really just my negatives on the film. And to be honest, I can't really think of any more negatives. I can think of more negatives for the next one, but there probably is a lot more that I probably have missed. I've only seen the movie twice, but yes, I'll move on to box.
Don't you think what we're looking at right now is one of the negatives? Did you like this character? She was
no,
worst,
I didn't really give a shit if she died, to be honest. She aligned herself with fucking violent asshole, so what do you expect?
Oh my god.
She's so hot though. God, she's so hot.
Nah, I don't think so, man. No
really?
Way. Nah.
Gosh, she looks like so many chicks.
I think it's the
banged.
lipstick, man. Nah.
I love it when because that's just telling you like she's down to do a lot of stuff. Like she's gonna do butt stuff for sure. Like she's definitely.
While we're on the subject, because the guy who played Jeb, I think he would have suited the fucking role of Reacher a little bit better, but he wasn't a big enough actor, and Tom Cruise was. So yeah, it is.
Who are you talking about?
One of the guys that he beats up. She gets one of the guys that she gets Reacher into a fight with. The really tall guy. He's like the lead.
Oh yeah,
member. Yeah. And he played Stryker in X-Men.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He would have been interesting. I don't know. Yeah. I don't imagine he's too charismatic. But I don't know. I've only seen him in negative.
I'm kind of just going by his appearance because he looks really fucking tall and mean and looks like he could fuck someone up as well. But who knows? Maybe he didn't have. But Tom Cruise was obviously the big money maker in it. So yeah, I'm going off subjects. Yeah, your negatives on this movie box office.
Well, real quick before I get into the negatives, while we were talking about it because of his height, I looked it up. He's only 5'7", so he's pretty short. I know.
Tommy. Poor Tommy.
Yeah, but I think both movies, I couldn't tell. I had no idea he was that short. So they played it off pretty well. I don't think they made him. They definitely didn't make him look giant, but they made him look normal. So I'll give them that too. I mean, he didn't look like some tiny figure. I mean, the same goes for Robert Pattinson. I heard when I was in I know this is kind of off topic, but when I was in was it Universal? I don't remember. I was at one of the studios in Hollywood, and I was taking a tour, and I saw Robert Pattinson's bat suit, and oh my gosh, he looked like a 13-year-old girl. It was a tiny suit, and he plays this towering Batman, so it just kind of reminded me of that with him. But when it comes to the negatives for me, I don't know what it is exactly. I can't blame the movie for this necessarily. I'm not a big fan of I'm not a big mystery thriller fan. I think maybe it's because sometimes I I might like blank out for a little bit, and then once you lose one little piece, you're sort of screwed through the rest of it. And I sort of had that problem with this one. I fell asleep maybe twice, and I was, I was refreshed. People watching it with me, they told me they put me up to speed, but I think for me the pacing wasn't it wasn't as fast paced and maybe as uh, I don't know, motivating for me to latch on to the main story and Jack Reacher. And I think I just wasn't. I'm not too interested in Tom Cruise's character so much in the first one either. And I think that's because I don't know. Although he was a charismatic, smart guy, he's sort of like an American Sherlock Holmes almost. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the smartass, and he was kind of a smartass, cocky. I did like his confidence. I liked his confidence, and I liked that he was what he said was what happened. When he made a command, that command was followed through, and it didn't matter who he was talking to. And I like that he was a man of his word, and he followed through with his goals, no matter what happened. I thought that was inspiring, and that was interesting about him. But for me, I don't know. Maybe I don't like to think I have a short attention span, and I'm not. I don't like to think that I'm like
you are
some
Gen
guy
Z,
that.
so don't you? Have
I know it
TikTok
doesn't
brain, right?
help. It doesn't help. One of my favorite movies is Lawrence of Arabia, Toxic. That's a long one. Not very much action in there either. Same for Apocalypse Now. I love both of those a lot. But I don't know. I think it's more like just a mystery thing. And I think if you fall off just a little bit with this story, that you kind of end up with a bunch of loose ends, and it's hard to pull them.
Yeah, I mean, I found
together.
it better to follow the second time I watched it. If I'm
Mm.
being honest, I did. But
Yeah, so
it
that's
depends.
good to hear. I only saw it
Yeah,
once.
yeah. 'Cause some mysteries can be a little bit like you kind of know what the twist is going to be half the time anyway, because there's been so many mystery stories done so many times. It's hard to keep a really good mystery that's well crafted and you don't see coming. But this is one of the few I just enjoyed, even though I probably did see a few little things coming. But yeah. So Toxic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, negatives on the first Jack Reacher movie.
Strangely enough, not a lot. Like I said, I'm fine with these are the by the way, these are the books that and in chronological order that you should read if you are a Jack Reacher fan and you want to read. And when I say chronological, I don't mean when they were released. I mean like in the lifespan of Jack's life.
Yeah.
So like the
I'm
first
guessing, the Killing Floor is still the first novel, but the others are like prequels, aren't they? These first two.
Yeah, The Enemy takes place in I don't know how they're going to do that if they do adapt it to the show, but The Enemy is the very first story of him, and it takes place in like 1990. So, and then the next one is like 95 or 96, and then Killing Floor is 97. So those are the great Jack Reacher novels. Like you can skip a lot of them. Ironically, the second movie, The Never Go Back, is really one of the worst novels. So that's probably why it's one of the worst movies. I get why they adapted it, but it was a bad call. Maybe had they had a little bit of that Amazon polish that the show seems to have to polish it up, or they had Richardson, maybe, but it is just that it just did not work. But we'll get to that. Yeah, Jack Reacher, the first one, 2012. I based on the novel One Shot, which is, by the way, on that list that I showed you. I think it does very well. It's very, very faithful. I can only say one glaring thing. Well, let me say the good first. The good is that the car chase is not in the book, and they put that in the movie, and it's fucking awesome car chase in there.
I like to,
especially his getaway.
You feel the fucking talk, everything, the adrenaline.
That was
you
good.
know who did that movie, right? You know who did the first one, right?
Christopher McQuarrie.
Yep, same guy that does a lot of the Mission Impossible movies, and did, of course, the great Way of the Gun. So he has a great feel for crime action. On top of that, the way that they unravel the mystery is really good. So those are the good stuff. When he tunes up the guys, it's straight out of the novel how he tunes the dudes up, how he investigates, and the way the lawyer is an improvement in the movie, as like Rosamund. She's just basically a regular Karen looking chick in the book. Same cop issue, same daddy issue. But I mean, they just went and got this bombshell of Rosamund Pike and her amazing cleavage for the movie, and I applaud them for that. I think that was a good call to do that.
really fucking underrated actress. I mean, she is fucking creepy in Gone Girl. She really is.
Yeah. Wasn't she in is it Wheel of Time? Was that
She
her? Was
was,
she in that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she was. But my friends have told me who read those books that they shit the bed. Not because of her,
Mhm.
but just because they didn't stick to the source material and they wokeified it up. Apparently, I don't know. I can't speak to that because I've not read the books or watched the show. And I'm probably not going to. But if I have any one glaring thing, it's the big standoff at the end, where him and Jai Courtney, have each other, and Jai Courtney runs out of bullets and he throws his weapon down to take him on mano a mano. Jack Reacher would never, ever in 20,000 years of nevers, he would never do that.
Yeah, he'd
Jack
fuck him up,
Reacher
wouldn't he?
Jack Reacher would just shoot him right in the face. That would be
Mm.
it. End of stuff. He would never do that. That is so that I get it. Tom Cruise was like, well, I probably don't like how he just kills this guy at the end. So what if we had a good kung fu fight? It's like, no, Jack Reacher would never do. If Jack Reacher has a gun and you have a knife, you're getting shot. If he has a bat and you have your hands, he's beating you to death with that bat. Because I mean, it's in the MP credo: always cheat, always win. So he would never ever do that. Because when you're an MP, you go after guys that are Navy SEALs, you go after Special Forces unit guys, you go after Army Rangers, you go after like these badass infantry guys. So you're taught to cheat. Everything you're taught to do is to cheat, to dominate, to make sure that the odds are always in your favor, because they very seldom are. It's not like being a regular cop. But yeah, it's crazy that he does that. And I cringed. I audibly cringed when I watched it. And I was watching it in a room with a bunch of MPs, and they had seen it before
Wow.
and I hadn't. And they played it for me, and I was like, "Oh God, no!"
Oof.
And they were like, "Why would he write it like that?" And I'm like, "He didn't write it like that. That's not in the book." I do like the little sniper scene, him and Robert Duvall. Also, kind of a cool Robert Duvall, him the Days of Thunder reunion thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And everything he does with the rifle is perfect. The way he lays down on his side and gets into the prone firing position and stuff like that. That was great. The little allusion towards the fact that his dad was a Marine, and he kind of uses that to get in good with Gunny. That was cool. So like I said, just that one glaring problem. Everything else, yes, perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect movie beyond that one thing, and I'm willing to overlook it.
Yeah.
So Toxic, did you think he had a pretty good, so like this Jack Reacher from the first movie, Tom Cruise, was a pretty decent adaptation from the books?
Except for the fact that he's not 6'5" and 250 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, except for that. I mean, I can personally say that that's not realistic, but if you want it to be realistic towards the books, he also comes across as kind of he has a little bit of that Tom Cruise twinkle, but I mean, it's very different than Richison's. Richardson is just charming as fuck. Like, I don't know how to describe what he brings to the screen, but whatever magic he's bringing to the shows, I mean, he just carries those shows on his back. And not only does he embody the menacing hulking, but he also does pretty good with the Sherlockian detective stuff. But he's just so charming as fuck. When he says the lines, even if they're the cringy lines from the book, they still come off well. Like there's a line in Jack Reacher the movie when the little slut comes to kind of mess with him, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Sandy," and he goes, "So was I a week ago in Florida." And it just falls really flat. And that's a line from the book. But had Richardson said it, I think he could have pulled it off better.
Yeah, I remember that. That was weird.
Yeah. So the other stuff was great. The whole I can't afford you, I'm not a hooker.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, the hooker would get the joke. And the one that you don't pay is the one that is more expensive. And it's like, hey, that's our sister.
He looked a little embarrassed when he had to explain the joke to her, didn't he?
Yeah.
He would just have a straight face going, a hooker would get the joke.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Also, and it's no fault of his own because he does have a lot of aura and presence, Tom Cruise does. But one of the things that in the books, you could read enough of them. People are stupid enough to try Reacher in the, I mean, obviously, but there's always some hesitation when someone goes, but like with Tom Cruise's character, you don't really feel that. Like when 6 guys surround him, they're like, yeah, we got this. Now, obviously they're wrong. Cause I mean, he's, you know, Jack Reacher, he's Tom Cruise. He's got great skills, but it's just like, it's like when you have a bouncer that size, even if he's a martial arts expert, it doesn't look good because people aren't automatically intimidated by him. And he can wear the leather jacket and look cool. And I mean, and he does look cool, but I mean, it just, he doesn't come off. Whereas, you know, if Richardson was sitting there in just his little cut off t-shirt, you know, people would be like, oh, yeah, I don't know. How much are we getting paid for this?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another thing. Don't you think his Reacher is a bit too stylish? Well, Richardson kind of just keeps him plain, doesn't he? Just like a shirt and some jeans, and that's
I agree.
it. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
season 1, he's a little too clean in season 1. I like the season 2 and 3 where he's a little more, you know, and again, I mean, you know, season 1 is based on the first released book, which is also chronologically the first year that Reacher is, you know, he's been discharged from the army. So he had just been traveling around doing his hobo shit for like a few months at that point. Now at the point we see him in season 3, he's been doing it 5 or 6 years. So, you know, but yeah, he's for somebody who at this point, because this novel chronologically is like, I think it's like the 10th novel or something. Jack Reacher, the one shot, and he's already been on the road like 5, 10, 15 years or something at this point. So he wouldn't look that polished and clean. So yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, but overall though, it is still a very well crafted movie, and Tom Cruise does have a lot of charm. It's got its faults, obviously, especially when it comes to some inaccuracies from MPs, like you described. But apparently, so him being a little short does kind of maybe help this movie a little bit. Like the guys thinking they'll easily fuck him up, which does kind of do the whole play on the expectations thing as well. And it turns out he's more lethal than they are. I do like that, but obviously with the show being out, Richardson does play the part a lot better. I mean, a lot of the stuff that Tom Cruise, I mean, we've both mentioned this, his delivery of the one-liners, Richardson would have done them a lot better. He's really brought a lot more to the character than Tom Cruise has, unfortunately. But this is still a very well done action movie, and I am glad to watch it, and I'll happily watch it again. And now moving on to the unfortunately Jack Reacher Never Go Back, which really takes 10 steps back in quality, unfortunately. And this time is out to prove one of his old army buddies is innocent of some shit anyway, while also trying to deal with this teenage girl, this runaway who also might be his daughter. And all that well crafted, that very technical, methodical sort of like deduction of the mystery that we had in the first film is really thrown aside, where they just plod around from one location to the next, and I don't know, the mystery isn't that interesting. I mean,
No.
even the villains are really fucking lame as well. I mean, what's the actor's name in Never Go Back? He's supposed to be the main guy. Go Back. And he's supposed to be the main guy who's what is he again?
You have, there you go. Okay, you had the other movie up.
General Harkness by Robert Nepper. Yeah, this is a very good sinister actor as well. He can play villains really well, and he's kind of nothing. He lacks the creep factor of Werner Herzog.
Yeah, it's the listen. This is a trope in the books too. By the way, this is a bad book. This is not. I can't even harp on the movie and go, it's not faithful to the book, because it is faithful to the book. The book sucks. It's not a good book. It's like a throwaway. You said old army buddy. It's not. It's a chick that he has a phone conversation with in one book, and then spends the next 2 books heading in her direction with like a vague notion of, maybe I'll stop by DC and go see this Major Turner. Maybe she's as hot as she sounds on the phone.
Yeah, this is also one thing. Even though, all right, I got the old army buddy thing wrong though, but at the same time, it's like, I don't buy Reacher being a little bit puppy dog over this woman he's just been speaking to. I
Well,
don't know. I don't
I
buy it. I
don't
don't know.
know. Yeah, I don't know if he is, to be honest with you. I think
It might be
so.
Tom
I
Cruise playing it. It might be the way Tom Cruise was playing it, and that
maybe.
made him come
I
across.
don't think
Yeah.
he was puppy dogging. I
I
mean,
don't
this
know. He
is something
sounded a little bit like he was like, I don't know. Maybe it's
I
the way he was
don't
saying
know.
it.
I
But
think something I kind of liked about him, like Jack Reacher's character in like both these movies, because I haven't really seen much of Alan Richardson's Reacher. I've only seen the
You're
first
missing
season,
out.
but
You're missing out.
I probably am. But I like how he's like, you know, he kind of like comes off as a ladies' man, but he didn't. I don't think he kissed either of the women in both of these movies.
Hmm.
He and I thought that was kind of cool. It was kind of cool seeing how steadfast he was, just completely set on the mission, even though I mean they were interested, and he was kind of interested too. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Kind of a sidebar.
in the books, he bangs them out. Like he's a real like misogynist in the book. Like there's a time when he gets brought in because a couple of his exes have been killed in
Oh
one of the
gosh.
better novels that I've listed below. Some of his exes are being killed, so the FBI brings him in to be like, you know, hey, some of your ex, you know, is like, I didn't sleep with her. They're like, yeah, she had mentioned that she did. He's like, well, I just forgot, and they're like, well, you forgot something. He goes, have you ever been in the army? You ever met military women? Not very difficult to sleep with them. And I'm like, yeah, that's it, Jack. You got it, buddy. That's correct.
Jeez.
They are, yeah. If she doesn't go become a stripper, she goes and joins the military.
yeah,
So, and
I did actually like Kobe Smulders in the role. I just don't think Kerr and Tom Cruise had that kind of chemistry.
they
They
had
kind of
no
went,
chemistry. Yeah, they have no
yeah, they went
chemistry.
better as a duo, in my opinion. I think she did
No
okay
chemistry.
in the acting, but I don't think she has the screen presence to be like a lead actress or anything like that. I think
No.
she did well with
No.
what she had. The daughter could be a little bit annoying, but there was some moments where with Tom Cruise where it was a little bit touching. But even the henchman's kind of a fucking downgrade. What's this guy? The Hunter played by
Yeah.
Patrick Hughes Singer.
Really,
Who
I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was pretty good, actually. He was probably my only saving grace in the movie was him. I thought he did it very well. He
I liked
certainly
him
had.
in other stuff. I do like him as Superman in the Pete Holmes sketches. He does a pretty good job playing it straight amongst Pete Holmes, going, "You're Batman, I'm cool, you're a douche."
I thought he came, you know, he seemed very believable in what he did. I mean, the problem with the overarching plot of Never Go Back, it's like well into the Jack Reacher series. He spent a couple of stories now, books, heading towards Major Turner to, you know, see her. When he finally gets there, she's been arrested on espionage, and they pull this tactic I've seen in the movies but never seen in practice in real life, where article like 90.61 or some bullshit, where in an emergency they can call you back to active service if you still have a security clearance or you're still drawing a pension or something, from which Jack Reacher has both. The book draws it out a lot more, and I don't know if that's good or bad, where they hit him with the whole, you know, deadbeat dad shit first, and then kind of get him on the hook, and then hit him with the whole, you know, Major Turner's lawyer showed up dead, yada yada yada. None of the goons and stuff like that go after him, except for the Hunter, are extra paramilitary. They're all like, he just goes up against regular MPs. So a lot of that probably would have worked better instead of having, because the plausibility of so much of this shit depends on how much you believe that random fucking goons can walk into a maximum security military jail and fucking pull a major out, and like it makes zero sense. And anyone who's been an MP would go, there's no fucking way, dude. You need 3 forms of ID just to get in the front door. So like you need 3 forms of ID to get on the base. So you're definitely not getting inside the fucking Huskow. So a lot of it kind of crumbles under that logic. And strangely enough, though, again, like I said, it is what is in the books. And then they have this, you know, the drug overlord thing going up. They're selling heroin, and then they had to get rid of the MPs overseas. They had to make her the fall guy. They want to get Reacher out of the way, but Reacher's getting in the way, and then they contrive all this silliness with a with a fake daughter, which pulls on his heartstrings for a little bit. And it's just a lot of plot and a lot of plot conveniences. And I don't know if they're like, their logic was like, hey, Colby Smulders is really hot right now because of How I Met Your Mother and fucking Avengers, so maybe we'll put her in one of these movies to kind of soften Tom Cruise's image or something a little bit more. I don't know if that was their logic. I don't know what their logic was with that, but it's not good. It's not a good book, and it's not a good book adaptation. It's not a good movie, and I'm glad within the context of the show they've swept it under the rug, because I was dreading that. I'm like, please don't redo the movies with Richardson. And they very cleverly, because in season 2, I believe they allude to, or maybe even it's season 3, where they allude to that the Major Turner shit has already happened. So we're not going to have to be burdened with that again. So that was very clever. So whoever's running the shit over on the TV series side, I feel like they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, because the TV's just, even despite some of the problems in the writing, which I will get a little bit more into when I do my review on episode 6 now, isn't it? That just came out last Thursday, was it?
What is it now?
Was it episode 6 that was out last Thursday?
I believe so, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm going to rewatch it again as well, see if there's anything I missed, and then get my thoughts.
I think it was the best in the. Are we allowed to talk about that or no?
I can talk about it a little bit.
I think the latest episode of the show was the best in this season so far. I don't know what your feeling is on that.
Huh.
But I do agree with you on Duffy, though. She's fucking off her job. She is. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, who did the DEA agent? Oh, she's terrible. She's like the worst cop ever.
I've never fucking cover. Jesus Christ.
Dude, she's terrible. I don't know what their logic is making her so stupid. Like, they've never had such a stupid cop in any of the Jack Reacher stuff. She's so bad at her job. It's laughable. And it's crazy too, because I like the actress. She and Richardson have good chemistry. But she's just such a goofball.
Yeah, she's doing her best. She's doing the best, the actress. She really is. But
what she reminds me of? She reminds me of that Family Guy skit when like Lois says stuff and like Peter will check Lois and be like, "Look at you being a big girl going out here all on your own. This is just a big scary world, isn't it?"
Yeah, why are we keeping the fucking witness alive? Because he has a fetish for the ginger muff. Come on, this
right? Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way.
Why this one? Yeah. This woman could compromise you if you keep her alive. What the fuck? You are dumb villains. You are dumb villains.
I am actually, due to how badly Never Go Back was received, I gotta tell you, man, I'm shocked, literally shocked that they greenlit a TV series. I was like, well, that's it. This is over. This isn't. As soon as this came out, and I actually went to the theater and saw this, and I'm like, God, this is just as bad as the book. Because I guess I was hoping they were going to improve upon it with the movie. Maybe, I don't know what I thought, but I was just like, man, this is so fucking bad. And I was like, great, now we're never going to get we're not going to get any more movies. And I kind of was hoping for a show, and I was hoping if they did a show, they would just make each season one book, which they have done. So kudos, Amazon.
Yeah, because it means they can spend a bit more time to actually craft out the mystery a bit more, get more of the details, because details do matter seem to matter in these stories a lot. And if you're rushing about and if you're using a film, you're going to have to leave some details out, which might take away the context. But but there was also some problems with like when the black guy tries to meet up with the witness and
Espen.
And Colby Smulders is out looking around the surroundings, everything, and they don't even fucking notice a bunch of fucking army guys coming up to try and kill the witness.
Yeah.
Or give him a warning. I was like, what the fuck? You're outside. You can see what's happening. You can see who's tailing him. Why are you letting him know that there's danger outside?
Right. What did you think of Colby Smulders' action set pieces, specifically like that scene you just showed with the fight scene in the kitchen? Did you think that she girl bossed it up too much? Or I thought if I'm gonna say anything nice, I like the fact that this Hunter guy like throws her around like a fucking rag doll.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'll give him that. Yeah, I just thought Jai Courtney had a bit more of a quiet menace to him though, and a little bit of a charm.
Well, sure, but but I mean, like, I have worked with a bunch of MPs. I actually know, like, okay, so let me just go ahead and ruin everybody's day. There's no such thing as
As always.
there's no such thing as a female special forces, and there never will, because they can't do the job. There are jobs they can do, but it ain't that. Females can be MPs, and they can be damn good ones. And like I said before, MPs are taught tactics and tricks that will allow them to get the upper hand in certain situations or whatever. That being said, the old boxing adage, if everything else is equal, you bet on the bigger guy. So me and Luke go toe to toe, and Luke knows all of the same dirty tricks. He's a martial arts black belt, yada, 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 whatever the fuck. But I am 250 pounds and I'm almost 6 foot. And Luke is, I don't know, he looks really scrawny and small every time I've seen him. So I'm going to assume that he probably is. And he's from the UK. He's probably pretty
Actually
weak.
got a bit of fucking weight on me, don't worry.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying to lose it a lot. I'm trying to lose it at the moment a bit more. That's why I'm cutting back on the
I mean, if the skills are equal, you bet on the bigger guy. So like, she's obviously underskilled. Like, I did like the 2-on-1 against a bad guy. I always like that. I like when a bad guy can somewhat OP the protagonist, because it makes it harder for that. So I'm a big Star Wars Episode 1 end fight thing with the 2 Jedi versus Darth Maul. I like the Sleepy Hollow, Ichabod and what's his Brahm against the Headless Horseman. I like that. I like it. I like Riggs and Murtaugh versus fucking discount Jackie Chan, Jet Li. Like that kind of stuff. Like, I like it. I'm here for it all day. I do like that kind of stuff. That being said, like, the closest you're going to get to a female badass in the military is going to be a military policewoman. Like, they are the elite badass. And that's why I always laugh when, like, they try to say, well, we're going to make a ranger out of this chick, or we're going to make like, dude, stop. Like, you already have MPs. You're good. So because they can get all the training and they can get in shape. There's a chick named who I would have put in this film, like, seriously, for real. Her acting wouldn't have been as good as Kobe Smulders, but it's a shame she doesn't branch out. A real life MP named Michelle Viscusi, who is she was in the reality TV series Top Shot, and she's Glock's like premier model. And she does like fitness stuff, and she's like, she can shoot so fast the camera has to slow down to see her draw and hit the targets. Like, she could out John Wick. Like, that's how good she is. And she's a real life.
I'm gonna get her up now. Michelle Viscusi, okay.
But if you ever find a clip of her shooting, it's like watching Keanu Reeves get ready for John Wick movies, or even Tom Cruise getting ready for Collateral. Like, she is good. Like, and she's crazy good in shape, and she's fucking sexy as fuck too.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at her now. Yeah, she is gorgeous. I'll get YouTube up anyway. Give me a second.
But I didn't mind Kobe Smulders. I think she's basically Maria Hill under a different name in this thing. And what's funny is I reread the book recently. Oh, that's a great clip, the one you got right there. That's actually a really good clip. Woo! Did you see that fucking reload? Yeah. Did you see that reload? Holy shit.
And I just came.
Look at her. And she catches the bullet. Oh my God. I just went from 6 to midnight. She is fucking incredible.
Oh, there's more. There's like a fucking other minute of that.
That metallic sound you're hearing, those are little metal discs that are the size of your hand. And she's fucking hitting them dead center.
Love a woman who knows how to handle a gun.
Oh God, she's so hot, and she didn't even win Top Shot, which is weird. So these are training disciplines where they want to make you draw and fire under pressure.
Man, that reload's crazy.
Damn, man.
her reload is so fast you can't even fucking see it.
No.
Yeah, we're going off on a tangent, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Got something nice to look at.
But I
aren't
mean,
we?
I just want to I just wanted to temper my my misogynistic
Christopher.
Yeah, you're balanced now.
with the fact that there is this is what a female MP can do. You know, I mean, she doesn't have to be a badass with kung fu, although she also is a martial artist. You don't have to be that. You know, you need to be good with your weapon. And I realize that a lot of times that's what I like about the show too. They, you know, and I said this on the stream with Blue Collar the other night, you know, Reacher and the show, he will cheat. He'll kill you. If you're coming to kill him, he's not going to leave you alive and like, you know, wait, he's going to murder you. He's not going to kill you when you go for your gun. He's going to kill, like in the first season when he shoots the two Bolivian guys or whatever he shoots them in the back, you know, and he lies about it later, but until what's her name, the deputy sees the sees the that's good, Mr. E. Thank you. Fucking jarheads, man. Yeah, I know, no women. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. But I was just trying to show there are outliers, there are exceptions to the rule. But anyway, but yeah, Jack Reacher will, like, if you've coming to kill him, he's not going to wait for you to get his a Reacherism. A thing, that line that it gets repeated in all of the book, you know, is like, get your payback in first. Don't wait to get your payback. Get it in before the guy does anything. Because if you wait, then what's the point? You're going to wait to get hit to hit the other person? Always hit first, hit fast, hit hard, and hit them often. And if they get down on the ground, hit them while they're on the ground until they stop moving. There's a ongoing theme. I did like in Never Go Back when he takes the dude out in the airplane. When he pops the guy in the face and then he kicks his shin to break his leg, so that if the guy does wake up from that, he's not going to be able to move. When Reacher will completely incapacitate you if he doesn't kill you.
It didn't really look like that would knock him out, though. I mean, he knocked him out cold, and it didn't look like he did much.
I would have believed it more if it was Richardson instead of Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has all that fucking power behind him, hasn't he? All that weight. He's got the fist the size of a fucking mountain. It's like,
yeah. I've two things. You know, I've hit somebody that size before, and it's done nothing. I've laid into him, and like nothing has happened, and that's the second worst feeling in a fight. The first one is then when they hit you back and they propel you into a wall, and then you're like, shit. This is bad.
Oh, I'm getting fucking flashbacks now of some fucking. It was years ago when I was in this pub, and this Jamaican guy starts having it out with a fucking bouncer, and the bouncer laid him out. The guy flew right back into the fucking toilet door. It was like, every time I remember it in slow motion. Him flying back in slow motion every time I remember it. I don't know why. It's just, it was like, what the hell, man? And he was out cold for quite a while. They had to fucking take him to the ambulance. I mean, he fucked him up with that one punch.
Yeah. I would love to be a fly on the wall with the execs that finally greenlit in 2021 a Reacher show. Because at that point, because I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe Never Go Back came out in 2016, maybe.
Yeah.
And I would love to have been a fly and them go, hey, listen, we know the first one did good and the second one completely tanked, but we have an idea for a show, but we're going to get a big dude that's book accurate, and we're going to start with the first book and move forward. I would love to like hear that like pitch meeting or something like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, he was sort of the step in the first step in the direction of bringing like real masculinity back to the forefront, right?
I mean, and that's why it became such a big hit, because we're seeing a big bastard being a fucking ad nut this time instead of some fucking feminist
little pixie.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was so that was 2021, and that was 2021. The height of the woke of, we're still in the pandemic, we're still kind of girl bossing it up. And I remember there being like a line in season 1 where Finley tells the deputy, you know, hey, you can't be going after these guys on your own. You're not a 6'5", 250-pound monster like your friend Reacher there. So this is a guy telling a chick that she can't do something a guy can do. You know, so I thought that was great. And I'm like, I kind of felt like, are we in a new era? Are we starting are we starting to heal a little bit? So yeah, I definitely think the first movie was on point. It was a great book to adapt. The second one, they really shit the bed. I don't know the logic behind it, and they had a great director. They had Edward Zwick,
Yeah,
who
I
had
know.
done
The fucking Last Samurai guy as well.
Last Samurai. He
Wow.
did, so many. He's done military movies like Denzel Washington's movie he did with Meg Ryan, Courage Under Fire. So,
Yeah,
which
that
was
was a good
also
film. That was a really
based,
good film. I should
yeah,
watch it
also
again.
based on a book, by the way. And I just, I don't know what they were going for. I don't like the whole Sherlock Holmes thing that he was doing, where he can see shit that isn't there when he's not there. And I mean, like I said,
That was weird.
They hurt themselves. They picked a horrible book to adapt. It's kind of like what's going on with the season 3 of Reacher right now. Richardson is really being asked to carry too much. And I know this isn't about the show, Luke, so please tell me to shut the fuck up whenever you want to.
No. Carry on. That's the moment. This is a little comparison to it as well. I mean, because we are seeing how this measures up to the show too.
They picked a bad book to adapt. The Persuader is not a great novel to have adapted, and I wouldn't have adapted it. I mean, the whole so you guys know, well, Luke already knows this, but so that you guys and anybody listening knows, the whole book thing with Reacher is Reacher goes into a town, gets involved in a mystery, beats the shit out of somebody, finds out that somebody works for somebody else that works for somebody else, and he gets deeper and deeper into it, drinks some coffee, fucks a hot chick, and then moves on to the next place, either on a bus or with his thumb, which gets increasingly unbelievable as we are now in 2025. I don't know anybody that would pick up a hitchhiker, much less a 6'5", 250-pound one. That's going gray, by the way. And that is addressed in the book. Like, he's age accurate in the books. Like, they've not like de-aged him and like stopped with it, which they do in a lot of books. They like if a book span takes place over the course of 30 years, they'll shrink it down to 10 so that they can keep their protagonist. But in the Jack Reacher novels, at least the ones I've read, he is pushing like 60 something now. So it's becoming less and less likely that he's going to be able to pull off this shit. There's another YouTube creator that did something with it. So I mean, that's basically all of the books. They did an interesting choice with season 2 by doing his Task Force X type, let's get the band back together, the special investigators, because that book is very late in the series with Bad Luck and Trouble, which is what season 2 was. So, and then season 3, yeah, he doesn't have a team, but he has these kind of dildo DEA agents that are Keystone Cops, and they're kind of his surrogate team. And he's going undercover and he's doing weirdo shit. Like, he doesn't do that in a lot of other books. It's basically just, wash, rinse, and repeat of him just traveling to another town, fucking people up, banging a hot chick, getting embroiled in a mystery, and then moving on to the next town, like the Incredible Hulk. And that's basically the books. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with the series, which books they choose to adapt, because they're all over the place. Like, they've now adapted, like, these 2 movies are within the canon, right? And which are like these 2 movies are books like 7 and 20, and then the book 4 or book 2 is book 1 or season 1, and then book 12 is season 2, and then book 8 is season 3. So they're all over the place. So it's really, but again, you don't have to read them in order. Go through my slides. Those are all the key Reacher books that give you the most plot. They also have the most Neely. Neely's only in one of the books that represent one of the seasons, but she's been in all 3 seasons, and she's getting her spinoff. And I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, I don't think I need to see Neely spin-off. I like her in small doses. I think she works best as a very smaller character.
I like Maria Sten. I like what she brings to the table, but she wouldn't have been my choice. I would have picked like Sarah Shahi or Michelle Vescovi, as we showed in the clip. Yeah. I think she would have been a great fucking Neely. So
I think she
Michelle
could get
Vespucci,
some acting lessons,
I'm
maybe.
giving you so much. I'm simping for you so hard. I'm giving you so much, push right now. Please, have your people call my
Yeah,
people.
you've made I think you've made an extra simpy out of us. So, but I
But
will
anyway,
give one positive
go ahead.
to this sequel. That I did like the moment where he found out that the teenage girl might not be his daughter, and he doesn't really know how to feel about it. I
That's
kind
a
of
good
did
point.
like that. That was actually very kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the few moments that I thought, okay, I actually feel sorry for Ichiro a little bit, or should I? I don't know. I like the ambiguity of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. He wasn't really, he didn't really know what to think of that. I thought he
Yeah,
was sad. He looked sad to me, but he was like, I
yeah. I
felt
think he
like
was
he
just
was holding it
processing it.
back.
Yeah, he probably was, or maybe he was just processing what the information at the moment as well. Because
Northern, do you want me to leave my beautiful visage up and just mute my thing, and you can just like pretend like I'm still here, and then I'm gonna haul
yeah, you
ass
can
because
do like. So now you got to hop off soon, don't you? So, and I think we're coming
yeah.
close to the end anyway. I think.
Box office brawler,
Yeah,
always a
box office brawler.
pleasure.
You're making
Yeah,
a
good
point of
talking
that,
to
by
you,
the way.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Thanks
let
for
box
talking.
office
We gotta
brawler make his
collab on
points.
we need to collab on something soon. I'm gonna do a video
Yeah,
soon on all the birthday clowns in the YouTube verse. So maybe you want to make some enemies and then throw your hat in with me because
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna throw the gauntlet down against all the birthday clowns and see what's what. But hey, this was really a pleasure, Luke. I know you don't need more people, but I really appreciate you bringing me on in this. This is very personal to me
no
because I
problem,
do
man.
read all these books. I am an XMP, and this I love the show. And I think you're doing a great. I catch all your reviews on the show. I think you got some really based opinions. Box office brawler, always a pleasure. You've restored my faith a little bit that anybody under 20 can be a worthwhile person that
I'm
doesn't need.
23, but
Okay,
yeah.
anybody under 30
Hey, watch
Yeah,
older
there you
movies.
go.
And I
is
try to watch
actually
more older movies as well, aren't you? Which is always fucking good. Always a good
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, facts. But again, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. But I do got to bounce because when the girlfriend gets hangry, she doesn't give me loving. So I
Fair
gotta
play.
Oh,
Fair play,
poor
man.
boy. Good seeing you, Toxic.
take it easy, guys.
Yeah, take care. So yeah, box office brawler. I don't think I got round to you about
Yeah.
your thoughts on Never Go Back. Yeah, just tell me your positives and your negatives and your overall thoughts. And
Sure. Yeah. Well, he had some good stuff to say about that with his experience. Man, he
Mm.
he knows Jack Reacher very well. My gosh.
Yeah, he's well versed
Definitely.
in it. He is well versed in it. I'm only just reading the first book, and he's kind of convinced me to at least try and give the other books a go. Anyway,
He
so
schooled us, didn't he? He schooled us.
oh man, I
But
know.
as for me, like, I think, like, imagine this. Like, this was something I wanted to ask him, but now he's gone. But you too, of course, was imagine what this would be like if it was made, I don't know, like 6 years later during the more woke times. I mean, this could have been like an Ant-Man Quantum Mania. I mean, it was really close. I think it had the fixins to be that, where you had the sort of the father figure that, I mean, this is what it could have been. It could have been Jack Reacher was like the man in this conflict that is overshadowed by a young belligerent girl that thinks she knows everything, and a female counterpart that doesn't that wants to go her own way and doesn't want to listen to him. I mean, it had the fixins to possibly be an Ant-Man Quantum Mania. And at first I was really concerned. I thought, oh gosh, because right off the bat, unfortunately, the teenage girl was giving us a lot of sass, and it was not fun.
Yeah,
Reasonably
I
so.
was.
I mean, it was reasonable why she was so upset and like not trusting. But I mean, it continued, for pretty much the whole film. So, but you know what? It didn't prove to be that way. And this was where I had a little bit. Well, actually, I gained a lot of respect for Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher, was because his word was what happened. You know what I mean? What he said went, and he did not compromise. And good things came from that, by him making the choices and leading the team. Even despite having he had a pretty heated debate, like argument with Kobe Smulders at some point about going out to, I think, to like check out or to go out and talk to like a lawyer or like a witness or something. And I mean, a heated debate. And I thought, oh, she's definitely, getting what she wants here. But somehow he logicked out of it. And he still won. I'm like, wow, you don't see that anymore. So that was kind of refreshing. He was never really put down for being the way he was. I mean, he was like they'd say things, but it did not affect him, and he just kept moving forward. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst movie ever, not in my view, and it's just kind of a bit forgettable. That's it, especially compared to the first movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think forgettable is a good word. I think in my opinion, I don't know what it is. Like while you guys are talking about the first one for me, I forgot so much of that right off the bat. Maybe it's because I saw it earlier in the week and I saw this one pretty recently. I think yesterday I saw this. I can't remember, but it might have been 2 days ago. But I don't know. It's just not my thing. Definitely more your guys' thing though. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I've only just really started to, because I never saw the first Jack Reacher film when it came out. I only really saw it like a couple of weeks back, and I watched it again for the stream, and I do actually like the first one the second time, and this one, not so much. I can see why it flopped, but
Oh yeah. You see this
it,
lady we're looking at here? So I
yeah, she's
believe
dope.
isn't that the yeah, isn't that the lawyer, like his lawyer or something?
Yeah, something like that. I've actually
So
forgotten a lot what happened to the second one.
I
Is
believe oh wait, is
yeah,
this the second one?
yeah, this is the
Okay,
second one.
good.
Yeah,
So I believe that lady before was the lawyer, and I wrote a note about it because I thought it was so ridiculous. She was like talking to him like in one of those like silent rooms where she's trying to like make a case for him, defend him. And she's calling him dickhead and all these things. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so inappropriate for a lawyer. What are you doing talking him down and being so belligerent to him?" Really inappropriate, say bad mouthing him right to his face. It's like this is not lawyer talk here.
yeah. No, movies always do take a few liberties with professionals being very unprofessional. But then again, I've seen all half the fucking court cases in England where criminals are let off for stupid, over stupid reasons, over horrible things. I'm like, I kind of sort of accept it a little bit more, even though it's
Mm.
fucking weird how some of these court cases end up being in real life compared to movies. But
Oh yeah, I can't imagine what the English courts are like. That must be pretty
oh
pretty
yeah, fucking
interesting.
joke, man. They're
Did you
absolutely.
talk to? Were you with Lance on the Lockerbie? Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched that
Oh,
show.
that's
Yeah,
what
that
it
was
was.
actually a
Yeah,
very good show. It
that
was.
was good.
Yeah, no, I haven't got around to reviewing it. I'm trying to get around to talking about the final of Cobra Kai. I still haven't done it, and I
Mm.
think I might be a bit too late on it now because,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of left the zeitgeist. Not really too relevant anymore. You could always squeeze in there.
yeah. I will give credit. I think. I mean, this came out in 2016. This could have been, still could have been Walk, but thankfully
Hmm.
not because I will give Tom Cruise credit. He just wants to entertain. He isn't about shoving agendas in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's respectable. I like something that I enjoyed about watching these two was I really don't have that much experience with Tom Cruise. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm not big into like the mystery thriller kind of genre, and that seems to be a lot of his thing. I mean, Mission Impossible is like that, which I do like Mission Impossible. I like Mission
Yeah, I
Impossible
mean,
more than this,
they got a
but
lot better with once it got to Mission Impossible 4. That's when the series really found its feet. Because I think you might be too young to remember, but there was a while when Tom Cruise back in 2005, 2006, he kind of became this fucking joke with his all Scientology. He was being all crazy. He was watch his Oprah Winfrey interview. He was jumping on couches saying, "I'm in love with Katie Holmes." Yeah, even Scary
uh,
Movie 4 spoofed it as well, and he was kind of a joke for a while. But then,
oh really?
yeah,
Huh.
then he starts doing Tropic Thunder, where he's this fat balding asshole, and he's very funny. And then he comes back and starts doing the Mission Impossible films, and he starts to sort of become a bit fucking cool again. So
I, I loved him in The Last Samurai. Oh my gosh,
that is a
that
good
was
film. That was a
wow.
really good film, and it shows Tom Cruise can really act. I mean, it's one of his best roles. It's up there with Collateral and Steel Magnolia as well. No, is it Steel Magnolia? No, Magnolia.
Have you seen Born on the 4th of July?
I've seen that. I've only seen
I
it
don't
once,
I
but
don't know
he's really
anything
good in it.
about it, but I'm kind of
It is
curious.
good. It is really good, man. It is. It's not a polite watch though, but it is worth watching. And Tom Cruise really
Mm.
does sell it because he doesn't fuck about. He does give it 100%. Even though sometimes when you just see Tom Cruise in the role, there is times where you do forget it's him. And Born on 4th of July was when I forgot it was him. Collateral is when I didn't see Tom Cruise. I saw fucking the killer he was playing.
Oh man, yeah, I heard good things about Collateral.
It's awesome, mate. Tom Cruise, you forget it's him. The guy, he's so fucking creepy. He's so alienated from everyone. I don't think he's a psychopath. He's definitely a sociopath because he talks about how he hates LA. Every time he goes there, he wants to get out because he heard a story about a guy who dies on an M train, and he's been going around the city for hours and nobody notices he's dead until like fucking 10 hours later. And
Wow.
he says it with such disgust, and it gives you a hint about what kind of a guy he is as well. And how
Damn.
casual he is when it comes to killing. What, you killed him? Is like, no, I didn't. I shot him. Bullets on the fall killed him.
Jeez. Sheesh. Yeah, I know that's weird thinking of him in that role. My pops and me, we watched both of these Jack Reachers together, like in preparation for this. And we were looking at, I think they were on Paramount, or Paramount Plus, which nobody, poor Paramount Plus. It's not gonna last much longer. Well, I was reminded of course, Top Gun Maverick was on there. I remember I think I saw it twice in theaters, and we were talking about it, him and me, and it was insane. Do you remember when that was in theaters? I think it was in theaters for a whole year. I mean, it was the shit for a year in the theaters. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was. People went fucking mad over it, and I can see why. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a film that didn't rely so much on CGI. There was no woke shit. It was just they wasn't disrespecting an old school character that was well loved and iconic. They actually found a way to make him a little bit broken, but at the same time, still not lose that lust for life that made him so good. That made him so likable in the first place. And
Were your theaters open during like the 2020 time?
the theaters were open by then. I think by 2022, England sort of calmed it down because so many people just had a fucking enough of it. People just had enough of it by now.
Good.
I mean, we had 2022 was when we started getting back to normal anyway. From about early, I think it might have been late 2021 when we started getting some normality.
Oh, that's good. I mentioned this. I actually don't remember when I mentioned this. I mentioned this on some stream, but it was like, for me, like where I live, the theater was always open. I mean, it was open pretty much right after the shutdown. I mean, we shut down, and then maybe 2 months later, it was open, and nobody talked about it. Everybody thought the theater was closed, and they were even playing newer things. I remember one weird movie I watched was they were like smaller movies, but it was still something to see, like Russell Crowe's Unhinged. Have you seen that?
I want to see that.
It's hilarious. Oh my gosh, big fat Russell Crowe goes
I know,
nuts.
God,
Road
man,
rage.
he really piled on the pounds there after around what 2015, I think it was. Because in the Nice Guys, I mean, he's really piled it on. I mean, we did the Nice Guys stream with Toxic a while back, and all that part where he's bringing the Yoo-Hoos in, and these fucking hitman come in, and he's like, well, thank God those hitman fucking saved him from a diabetic death or something. Shit,
Oh
man.
yeah, it's bad. I don't know what happened to him. Actually, I think he's losing weight right now though.
Is
He's
he?
looking pretty good.
I mean, I wouldn't judge him too much now because he's in his 60s. He's getting older, so
Let him enjoy himself. It's no
yeah.
big deal. He's got the money.
Yeah.
He's got the accolades.
I know, but yeah, Russell Crowe, he was the fucking man back in the day where he was, especially in LA Confidential, where he was like proper fucking jacked. And
I want to see American Gangster. He's in that, right?
yeah, he's in that. I've not seen it in a long time. I've only seen it once, and I can't
have that
remember
on my
if I really
list.
liked it, but I need to check it out again. I do. It's Ridley Scott. There's only really a few films with Ridley Scott I actually liked, and that was like Blade Runner and Gladiator, and even The Martian. And what else? What else was there?
Did he do American Gangster? Ridley Scott?
I'm drawing a blank on the others. I'm drawing a blank right now on the other films that I liked of his. Apart from watching anything concerning history, combat, fire, and maneuver, or anything military related because of my constant riffs. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the Katie Holmes area, back when Tom Cruise was with it. And Yeah, that was not a
Man,
good
she
era for Tom
disappeared. We
Cruise.
don't see her in anything now.
Yeah,
I
no, I
can't remember the
mean,
last time we saw her.
I
Let me
think
look
she
that
did
up.
something not too long ago, but it was really
Really?
forgettable. But I don't know. I don't know. I need to look up her
She was
IMDb.
great. She still looks good.
Yeah, she was kind of cute, man. She was kind of
Oh
cute.
yeah, I
She was a
loved her in
strong.
Batman Begins, and then it was a huge
I'll
downgrade in
defend
Dark
her.
Knight.
Yeah, I'll fucking defend her in Batman Begins. I know she looks a bit young, but I think she did pretty fucking well in the role. I just didn't buy the romantic chemistry between her and
No,
Bruce Wayne. That's it. I just
what?
bought the friendship. I bought the friendship.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, did you like her better or worse than the second Rachel?
Yeah, I liked. I actually did. Maggie Gyllenhaal is more convincing in the role, but I bought the
That's
relationship
who it
more with
was.
the Kate Holmes. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird contradiction, but then again, the Rachel Dawes character is kind of not as interesting as Batman's other love interests, especially Catwoman, Selena Kyle.
Mm,
But
yeah.
even Nolan kind of messed that up in The Dark Knight Rises as well.
I know
They
we
kind
didn't get anything there.
yeah, they just kind of come off as a duo, and when they do finally kiss, it just feels empty, hollow.
Yeah, it was hollow. That was a shame, but
Uh,
whatever.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
probably get more into that when I do a review one day or a breakdown, but because there is a lot to go through in that movie. But I think we've made our points on both the Reach movies at the moment. I still think the first one holds up, the second one not so much. And I think Toxic just mentioned it earlier that the show is they are still kind of canon with the show. If you maybe
Hmm.
replace Tom Cruise with Richardson in your mind, then it probably might work. I don't know. I don't know if Amazon have actually said it, but
I don't think so though.
I'm gonna take Toxic's word for it anyway because
Sure. Give him the cred. He was wow, he knows Reacher very well. I guess I didn't realize there were so many books written about this character. That's pretty exciting.
yeah, I think they're going a little bit like how the James Bond movies were with the books because the movies were really out of fucking order from the books as well. I mean, the first movie, Doctor No, is is James Bond book 6. It's the continuity is kind of like all over the place with the movies. That's why it's so loose in the movies compared to the
Hmm.
books. But I think
That's
that might be yeah. So I
it's
think that
weird
might
you
be
can
the end.
just jump all over the place. I mean, 30 I think
Yeah.
he said 38 books. That's insane.
I know that's a lot of reading. That's a lot of hours to get through as well. If you're reading and you want to be a big continuity nerd and really just go back to back with them. But
So
yeah,
you're a big reader?
I do want to get a chance to. I do audiobooks because I get to listen to some books while doing some other things as well, and it's a bit quicker. But if I ever do get a chance to actually sit down and look something physically on the page, then I will try and see if I can move my schedule. But editing videos take a lot of time, and especially trying to get notes down for other stuff. It's
You're active on here,
it
man.
does.
You're
I
always
know.
doing something. That's
Yeah,
cool.
sometimes I'm really active. Sometimes I take a little break and try and get some other things done because even if I do start getting paid for with this YouTube gig it's not going to be that much anyway. I mean, it's
Yeah.
people who get a few subs and the revenue for like it's what $3 for every 1,000 views you get. It's
Oh
a bit of
gosh,
a
it's
joke.
that
Yeah.
low?
Something like
Jeez.
that. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. But I think
Wow.
we've already stated our points about the movies, and I don't think we need to go on any longer. But yeah, so
No.
thanks for joining me, Box Office
Yeah.
Brawler. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and I'll try and get you on again.
Yeah, I had a great time. A bastard. Thanks for having me
Yeah,
on.
I know, and
The bastard himself.
yeah, and Toxic. Glad to have you on, man. Always, mate. Because having Toxic on this is fucking necessary because he knows this stuff more than me. So it's always good to have someone who knows what they're talking about here.
The teacher was in session.
Yeah. Yeah, and everyone in chat, thanks for joining me, Mr. E. Always welcome, and yeah, I can't wait to get you on a stream one day soon as well. I can't wait for you to get your content out. I know you're still setting up and sorting everything out that you need to. Jake Martin, thanks for joining me, and I think that's it. And yeah, Bruce McFadden, thanks for joining me too, man. You're always welcome. And I'll try and get you on a stream one day as well. Fucking hell, you've been hanging out in the chats a bit, and I've streamed with you a couple of times on Enzo's stream. So yeah, I'll try and get you on one day. And I'll try and organise a few more Bastards breakdowns, a few more Gobby Bastards. I might do a Red Dwarf one. Have you ever watched ever watched Red Dwarf?
No. Is
Uh,
that animated?
no, it's a sci-fi sitcom.
Oh no, I've heard good
Yeah,
things about it.
it's really good. It's very, very funny. The first two series are okay, but season 3 is when it really starts getting creative. We start seeing a backwards universe where there's a part where the fucking cat has to go into the bushes for a shit in a backwards universe, and Lister and Rimmer look at each other thinking, "We've got to stop him." And the cat comes up and he's fucking walking like he's got shit coming up back into his ass.
Oh gosh, jeez, nice.
Yeah, you don't see it though, but the look on his face is enough to know that that shit's gone all the way back up into his
That's like
ass.
an English series, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's very
Oh,
British.
nice.
It's very British. It's got some very creative ideas as well, and sometimes some very smart commentary as well.
Oh,
Like a planet where if you commit a crime, the crime happens to you instead, which I really like.
okay, sounds interesting. I like that. I
Yes.
like the idea of the backwards, bizarro world.
Yeah. Everything's backwards. Like if you go to eat food, the food comes out into your mouth onto the plate spoiled.
Wow, that's weird.
It is. It's very clever the way they did it even back then. But we'll get
Okay.
more into it because there's been about more than 10 series right now. I mean, they had this big hiatus for about 10 years, and then they came back. And so yeah, I want to do like maybe top favorite episodes of Red Dwarf one day. So I'll get that done. So yeah. I'm
Cool,
going off on
man.
a tangent. I'm going to end the show. Thanks for joining me at Box Office. Everyone in chat, Jake Martin, Mr. E, Bush, thanks for joining me. And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching. And do remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that bell and just to be notified. And do the same for Box Office Brawler as well if you haven't already. And if you
Thanks,
wish to
guys.
support the channel, the links are in the description below, but right now that's us done and we're off to the pub. Thank you, and
Can I have spuds, please?
Spuds! Good choice. George's song. Listen very carefully, the question comes straight after.
Baked potato changed my life. Baked potato showed me the way. If you want to know what is wrong from right, you must listen to what potatoes say.
Don't be good, don't be bad.
Baked potato,
Don't be happy, don't be sad.
thank you, baked potato. And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potatoes say.
Don't be early, don't be late.
Thank you, baked potato.
Always eat what's on your plate.
Thank you, baked potato. And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potatoes say.